Welcome, everyone, to the L7C Podcast Wrestling Edition. Today, we are going to be reviewing SummerSlam that just took place this past Saturday. And with that, we got the wrestling expert, Jacob Mason. How are you doing today, sir?
Yeah, I am fantastic, buddy. How are you doing today?
I am doing well, man. I'm doing well. And the captain's with us once again, Byron Mitchell. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm great. Ready to talk some SummerSlam. Excellent show.
Let's get right into it, man. SummerSlam was on this Saturday, the 30th of July. We're here recording on the 2nd of August. And it was actually a pretty small card to my estimation. There's 8 matches. Yeah, 8 matches. No pre-show matches. So all the matches were on the main card. And it started off with Bianca Belair, the champ, going against Becky Lynch. And as with Becky Lynch matches, we always start with the captain. So, Byron, go ahead.
Man, they put on another banger. That match was great from start to finish, as you expect from a Becky-Bianca match. Bianca avenged her SummerSlam loss from last year. Was hoping at the start of the match that she would beat Becky in 26 seconds, like Becky did to her last year, but it didn't, which was great because the match was overall great. Found out actually on Monday that TJ Wilson produced that match as he did with the WrestleMania match. So TJ Wilson is top producer in my mind, so he needs to produce like every women's match there is because he just puts on absolute bangers. Great match. Highlight for me was when Bianca Belair did a Spanish fly off the top rope and then got up and did her KOD to end the match. It was a great match, like I said, and then come to find out on Monday, Becky popped her shoulder, I think halfway through the match and finished that match. So Becky is goated, in my opinion, for performing with a pop shoulder and putting on a hell of a performance.
Byron, do you think this match was better than their WrestleMania match?
No. I think their WrestleMania match was better, but it was still a good match. It was probably it's tied for my match of the night with that match that we'll talk about later.
Okay. Jacob, what'd you think of the opening match with the Raw Women's Championship?
All right, so this was the only match I really caught like in person, seeing it live. This match, like Byron said, banger. Absolute banger, and kudos to Becky Lynch for popping out her shoulder and still being able to put on what essentially I thought was like a 5-star match. I thought it was great. And no one had an idea that she blew her shoulder out.
Nope.
Just goes to prove how good Becky Lynch is, and with her and Bianca, it's one of those fight forever situations. I'll take it any day of the week. You know, it's damn good.
So that match was really, really good, and it got overshadowed a little bit. What happened next? Because boy, we were talking literally on the preview about maybe we're going to see some face heel turns because there's not that many heel women on the roster currently. And someone had to be listening because you hear some music, and after almost 2 years, Bayley comes back, and she does not come back alone. She comes back with Dakota Kai, who was literally just released a couple weeks ago. And finally, she comes up with Io Shirai, getting called Io Sky, getting finally pulled from purgatory on NXT to the main roster. And that trio comes up, confronts Bianca. Becky turns face, and that really kicked off the night because Twitter couldn't contain themselves. Jacob, what do you think of Bayley, Io, and Dakota all coming after that match?
I like this. I like this stable that Bayley is. I'm just going to say Bayley created, even though, creative, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a sweet little fucking stable right here. And we have heels. And we have, I think this is now showing, the Triple H side of things, where we're finally bringing up the NXT talent and we're going to push them and see all this cool shit with them. So I was happy to see it. I did not expect Dakota Kai. I kind of she came out wait, wasn't she just released? I'm like,
she was, yeah.
Oh yeah, oh, that's cool. I'm like, well, you can tell. I literally told my wife, I said, you can tell Triple H is in charge now.
Oh, Byron, what'd you think? I know we were live and we were just like, holy shit, when we were watching it together.
Oh yeah, I don't know what I expected to happen after the match, but they were kind of doing their thing. Becky and Bianca embraced. Becky left the ring, and then Bianca was just standing there for a moment. Then you hear, like you said, hear Bayley's music. I was shocked because I was not expecting Bayley to come back this soon, because she always posts on Twitter, oh, healing takes time and all this. So she was playing it great on Twitter, hiding the surprise. Definitely was not expecting her. Was even more shocked when Dakota Kai's music hit, because she just got fired in April, and Triple H brought her back and said, you know what, we're going to redo Vince's wrongdoings. And then I was not expecting Io Shirai to come back either. Now Io Sky. So I was very ecstatic to see them. Love the heel turn by everyone in the group. I think that group is going to do amazing. Because on Raw, just a little preview, they came and was wrecking shop on Raw, beating up pretty much everybody. So I think this group is going to be great. Love the Becky face turn, because now she's going by the man again on Twitter. So the man's back, even though she's injured, probably out for a couple of months. But I'm excited. Just a great job, Triple H.
Yeah, you see the presentation, how they presented them on Raw, because as soon as they, like you said, Byron, they debuted again on Saturday. Monday, they started whooping everybody's ass. If you were a babyface, they jade your ass. Becky gave her speech that she's going to be gone for a bit, went to the back, got her ass whooped. Asuka and Alexa Bliss were having their match. They got their asses whooped. So they were presented very, very well. And just, you see truly the power of the stardom of those three, especially Dakota's a big fan favorite. She's going to be on the bump tomorrow. But you now look at that Raw women's roster. Your champion is Bianca Belair right now. Even though she's hurt, you have Becky Lynch. You have another 4-horsewoman in Bayley. You have Io. You have Asuka. You have Alexa Bliss. You have Dakota. You start looking at that Raw women's roster, you're like, holy shit, it is stacked. And no offense, Carmella, Doudrop, Nikki ASH, you're at the bottom right now. But if that's your bottom, your very worst people, it's it's okay. So that roster, they're stacked right now. Again.
Yeah, that Raw women's stacked. SmackDown needs some help, so hopefully we'll see what Triple H does with that women's division on Friday.
Jacob, what are you thinking about now these three on Raw and just how it just instantly boasted their women's division?
I like it. I really, what I like the most, and we've talked about it a bunch before, I like seeing that they're going to push, or it looks like they're going to push other women to build stars. Because we always talk about how the 4 horsewomen plus Asuka run the show. Having Dakota Kai in, I will always call her Io Shirai. I don't know why the fuck we're doing these name changes still. Vince is gone. Can we stop that? But I think it's going to be neat to see how this all ends up playing out. I gotta imagine you're going to see Bayley get the title and see the girls. Io and Dakota Kai end up with the tag titles, I'd imagine.
Fair enough. Let's go on to Jacob. You actually said don't sleep on this match. Logan Paul versus The Miz. Jacob, starting with you, man. The memes have been flying about Logan, but in a good way.
Don't sleep on Logan Paul. Just don't sleep on the Paul brothers. Okay, I'm going to put this very simple. If you took away all the YouTube, all the other Disney shit that they've done in the past, if you just took these two guys at their core, both Jake and Logan, if Jake's just a regular boxer and he's just absolutely smoke showing people be like, damn, this kid's got some potential.
Mhm.
And if you take Logan and throw him in wrestling, and he's doing this in his second match, and with an absolute freaking banger, is my second favorite match of the entire show. I think everyone would just be on a whole completely different level on these guys, completely. If you, like I said, if you take away all the other stuff they've done, because let's be real, the Paul brothers have a stink to their name. You know, a lot of people they don't like them. If you take all that shit out of the way and just go look at them as just people, damn, everyone would be losing their shit. Like I need to see more Logan Paul wrestling, because that match, fucking banger. That frog splash onto the table, that was damn near flawless.
It was, man. When he went up there, I even said out loud, I was like, "Oh, he's not built for this life." Like I didn't think he was gonna do it because of like his YouTube and like his other brands and all that shit. Then when he jumped, I was like, "Okay, okay." I was, and then the way he won, hitting Miz with his own finishing move, that was crazy. And I think one of my favorite spots in this match didn't even involve Logan, was Tomasa when the ref tried to kick him out. He said, "I'm not leaving." And he popped his chair. And he's like, "I'm not leaving." I was like, "Oh, this." And obviously, he's one of Triple H's guys. And fast forward to Monday, Tommaso Ciampa's got a U.S. title match against Bobby Lashley. Triple H is like, I'm putting my people back on.
Hell yeah.
So, Byron, what'd you think of that match with Logan and Miz? And shout out to Miz, because God, that man can work, man. That was the perfect person for Logan to go against.
Yeah, that was a perfect person for not Mrs. Logan Paul's single debut, because he had that tag team match at WrestleMania, which he did very good. SummerSlam, he blew my mind. Like Jacob said, I agree with Jacob said. Like if you take all that stuff, like that past stuff, and you just have him as a wrestler, he's a great wrestler. He did tweet. I think it was after SummerSlam or the day after. He said, "I think I found my calling," which I agree. He should do wrestling full time. Put that other stuff behind him, because that match was a banger. That frog splash, I didn't think he was going to hit it either, but he did, and it looked amazing. Just all around great athlete. I would actually love to see him in more matches. So, got a good one on your hands, Triple H.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be doing it full time. He ain't gonna be going on live shows, like going touring.
Probably not,
because he'll be like.
I think it's a good thing that he's not on live show, or not on all the shows, because he's going to be an attraction.
Oh, I agree. That's what I see him as. I don't see him as like AJ Styles, who's going like 3 feet. Like, yeah, he's an attraction. Because eventually someone's going to have to like beat these like they're going to lose matches eventually.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I agree, man. Logan, we'll probably see him next time. I don't think he'll do the UK thing. Maybe Survivor Series.
Maybe be on the Raw team.
I'm still hoping for him and Bad Bunny, WrestleMania, Hollywood.
That would be a good match.
But let's go to the next one here. We had Bobby Lashley going against Theory. And I don't know if you guys caught up with the way they presented Bobby Lashley in his entrance. Holy shit. Bobby's a big deal.
Bobby is a big deal. He is so over with the crowd. His SummerSlam entrance looked amazing, waiting for the camera pan from his feet to his head, and you just see fireworks going off behind him. He's very well presented at SummerSlam. I enjoyed the match. I think Theory and Bobby Lashley worked well together. Great match. I didn't think Theory was going to win. I was actually hoping that Theory didn't win, but he won. Looked great doing it. Theory is still holding the briefcase, and he'll go on to do whatever he's gonna do. But Bobby Lashley, that man is so over with the crowd. I need him or Drew to. Well, Drew is about to have a title match, but I need Bobby to have a title match too if Drew doesn't win.
Hey, Jacob, we're 1 month closer to Bobby versus Gunter. We're all getting there.
Yeah, yeah, but we now have the Tommaso Ciampa Triple H thing coming up too. So,
That's
I'm
possible.
kind of
You're right
on that one.
Mhm.
I'm kind of torn on that, but I like the fact that you're right. All you guys are right. Bobby Lashley is a big deal right now. And what I love even more about that is he's elevating the United States title, which is my favorite title. I've always said that. So I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see the titles not being hot potatoed. I'm happy to see a dominant champion having it, owning it, and shutting down all the newcomers. I like it. Because the person who's going to take him out will then be elevated.
And it might be Ciampa. It really might be. So, I mean, there's nothing really about Bobby made him tap out again. It was a nice, quick match, but Theory was not going to be done this night. So the reason I brought up the memes with Logan Paul is because the next match was the Mysterios reigning Dominik versus Judgment Day, and all the memes are saying how Logan Paul is already a better wrestler than Dominik Mysterio, and those ones are spreading.
I find him absolutely hilarious. Nikki actually on Saturday said Dom was not a good wrestler and just made me laugh. And then all these memes come out that Logan is a better wrestler than Dominik. It's just hilarious. I mean, I don't think Dominik is a bad worker, but I mean, Logan Paul just outshined him at SummerSlam.
I will say though, for people to SummerSlam debuts, go back and watch Dominik's debut against Seth Rollins.
Oh yeah, absolutely destroyed.
Hey, but he put up a great fight.
He did. I mean, compared now to then, he looks way better than he did then.
Yeah. But we'll see. The Mysterios, they come out on top, but it was not by themselves. We all saw this coming. Edge returned, came out on fire, literally, and speared the hell out of everyone, and everyone got to go home happy. Byron, I know you wanted Judgment Day to win because you felt like they needed it more, and I agree, but how'd you feel about this match and Edge coming back?
I mean, I thought it was a good match. Judgment Day and the Mysterios worked well together. I kind of thought Dominik would turn on his dad, Ray, and that's how the Judgment Day would win. So that's kind of like one of the reasons why I picked them to win. But overall, good match. Edge, I love Edge. He's just an amazing worker. Coming back and spearing everyone is always fun to see. But Judgment Day needed to win because they're supposed to be this dominant faction. If they keep losing, like all these big matches, like what's the point of them being a faction? So hopefully they'll get a win on a pay-per-view and go on and be dominant and maybe win the tag titles or something. But they needed to win more than the Mysterios. But I get why the Mysterios won because they needed Edge to come back.
Jacob, how are you feeling?
Okay. I feel like Edge came back way too prematurely. Because Judgment Day took him out, then started feuding with the Mysterios, and then Edge came back. Am I missing any part of that timeline?
No.
Okay, great. Yeah, he came back way too early. And Judgment Day straight up giving me Wyatt family vibes. Cool faction. Cool people in the faction. I really don't see him doing shit with them, though.
That's a good comparison, man. That's a good comparison.
I mean, cool, super cool gimmick. All about it. I was with Byron. I kind of assumed, Dominik was going to turn on Ray and whatever. Back to our Logan Paul. Logan Paul is better than Dominik Mysterio. I'll die on that hill. I don't care what anyone says. But yeah, I mean, did the Mysterios really need to win? Did Edge really need to come back right then? I don't think so. I don't think there was any reason for it. So what? You kicked out Edge, injured him, fought with the Mysterios and lost the Mysterios, and then Edge comes back and whatever. Like this feels like a very sloppy storyline to me.
Yeah, because now I don't know if like Edge is going to be helping the Mysterios or the Mysterio part is done and it's just going to be Edge going against Judgment Day alone.
I don't know if Judgment Day is done with the Mysterios because they did attack them on Monday during their tag team championship match with the Usos. But then Edge came out and helped them again, so I don't know where the story goes, like Jacob says.
You did accidentally spear Dominik at the end.
Which was hilarious because Rhea pushed Dominik into Edge's spear to save Finn.
You want to talk about someone who looks the freaking part, who needs to get that title against Dune eventually. Rhea Ripley. Holy shit, she is a tank.
Yeah, she is looking massive right now.
And now the memes too of how she had Dominik like between her legs crossed, saying like, "Oh, everyone's like that doing the Dolph Ziggler. It should have been them." And Dominik's in his dream spot, and Rhea's eating it up on like she is a fucking unit right now, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got a star in the making with Rhea too, and that stacked women's Raw division.
If she didn't have the health issues, I really wonder how that storyline would have like where they would have gone with her and Bianca at Money in the Bank going forward.
Good point. Hopefully she'll get like a rematch sometime this year.
Well, I hope so because when they were the last two in the Royal Rumbles years ago, I said that was going to be the new Cena Batista of the era, and Bianca is still going. Rhea ran into Ashley Fleer, so Bianca hasn't seen that power yet, but she's still going to be on a crash course sooner or later. But let's go to Jacob's favorite wrestler, Pat McAfee, defeating Happy Corbin by pinfall. Jacob, how did you feel about Pat going over Corbin?
All right, so 100% complete, utter honesty, disclosure here. I didn't catch the match because I was working. Mm-hmm. And then I've been working so much I haven't even been able to catch it. I seen Pat McAfee won. Other than that, I got nothing else for you guys. I'm going to let y'all take this one because I didn't do my homework. I haven't had time to do homework.
Go ahead, Byron.
I thought Pat looked great again. He's an excellent worker. You can tell he's, like they said at WrestleMania, this like has been his dream since his childhood, and he's living it up, just doing a great job doing it. I like how he's just so athletic. He does like backflips off the top rope, which you never thought Pat McAfee would do a backflip off the top rope, but I just love to see he won, like you said, just an excellent. Even more so, Michael Cole was going crazy on commentary during this match.
I'm still fuck Michael Cole, so I don't really care about him.
I know you're fuck Michael Cole, but ever since Vince has gotten out of his ear, he's been great on commentary. So I'm pro Michael Cole now since he's free of Vince's voice.
I won't be pro until I start seeing an apology.
It wasn't his fault. I know what you're talking about. Don't Vince in his ear.
Don't care. Phil Brooks said it best. I don't have to say anything more because he let that little fucker have it. So
wait, are we talking about the Sasha Naomi thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, tell us how you feel about that, buddy. Let's bring up some hot takes here.
Some hot takes.
I can't. No, I can't fuck with Michael Cole anymore. I can't. Because what he said, like when he said they quit, and then listening to Punk, and when Punk gets mad, you could tell he's actually getting mad because he starts getting louder and redder. And like when he was talking, he's like, when I left, they called me. Brock left that Friday, and they didn't say shit. And when he started using their real names, Mercedes, I was like, oh, he's serious. And he's like, tell me. I was like, I mean, so when those, we're just going to go into it right now. So when those rumors came that Sasha and Naomi got they're coming back, I said bullshit. No way. The miracle worker that Triple H is, no way they did it that quick. And no way from that, because I'm like, oh, they have to go to SmackDown, which means Michael Cole needs to be in there reconciling because I know they are not working for that. Going to be working with that dude. Unless some reconciliations happen. Because those wrestlers are stubborn.
Maybe something happened like behind the scenes. Like I'm still waiting for SmackDown to see if they'd come, because I definitely didn't think they were going to come on Raw, because they need to be on SmackDown. I think Triple H is smart enough to know that he needs to build up the SmackDown women's roster. But the reason why I don't hate Michael Cole, because I know Vince was in his ear, and when he said that they were disappointments, you could tell like he really didn't want to say it, but he had to because Vince was his boss at the time.
Did he have
so hopefully, I mean, that or get fired.
He has 25. He has 25 years in the company. You don't think he has any cachet that he could be like, no, I'm not saying that.
Again, I don't know how much cachet he has with the company. I'm just saying where I'm coming from. But hopefully, like you said, some reconciliation has happened since he has said that. Hopefully he's reached out to Trinity and Mercedes and reconciled with them, and maybe that's why they're rumored to come back. Again, I don't know what's happened behind closed doors.
Oh, that's true. Because, I mean, just like when Stone Cold walked out and they did that shit to him, he's like, dude, I ain't coming back either. And JR had him and Vince in a hotel, and Stone Cold says, like, dude, I thought one of us were going to die. And they sat there for X amount and got it straightened out. But you're right, things could be reconciled, but oh, man. Triple H would have to really, I know he's gotten everyone back, but he'd have to really work for that one because that was bad.
Oh, yeah, it was terrible.
And when you see Pat McAfee just staring at Michael when he was saying it and Pat on his show, like, dude, I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a straight shooter. So I believe Pat, he didn't know what was going on.
I don't know. I also have a feeling like with the quote unquote rumors of Sasha and Naomi coming back, I feel like any company anywhere that has a website could make up the most outlandish rumor-ish shit right now because Triple H is in charge of it. But Triple H is bringing back fucking, I don't know, the Great Khali, and people are going to click it.
That's true.
And get all these views. Yeah. And then everyone else is going to be like, well, I have to add this to my thing because according to so-and-so, Sportskeeda normally, and they're dumb shit.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that's true, man. That's a really good point because when
I'll believe it when I see it.
I mean, because when Byron sent it, I'm like, why are this the only people saying this is a ding? And then after that first one, like you said, Jacob, all these other sites were starting to be like, oh, it's reported by this site that they could be coming back. Some were saying as quickly as Monday. And I was like, oh, no way. But we'll see. We'll see, man. We'll see. But speaking of Naomi, let's go to her husband. The Usos defeated the Street Profits pinfall with Jarrett being the special guest referee, which had no business being the special guest referee. They had another great match, but the Street Profits, man, they got to be put in the back of the line for a bit because I'm still like, when they didn't, I was like, oh, I might be right. I don't think the Usos are losing until Roman loses. Like, I'm still on that. And after winning at SummerSlam, I don't know who beats them now in the tag team division. Like, if you guys can start throwing some tag team names, go ahead, because I don't know who's left.
War Raiders? Viking Raiders?
That's what I was going to discuss. I said the War Raiders or Sheamus's group. I forgot what they're called right now.
The Neck Breakers?
Whatever their name is.
That's true. No,
Peaky Blinders.
Peaky Blinders.
Like, fuck, I don't know. Like, legit. Who do you have win? Like I said, it's just not the time yet to let the Usos take the titles off the Usos.
Mm-hmm. I thought, man, I really thought, I was like, all right, they're going to get this huge pop. And they're just like, no, it's not the time. And Montez was getting angry. I'm like, oh, is he going to turn on Angelo because he's getting frustrated that they can't beat the Usos? Like, I thought he was going to turn. Byron, what'd you think of the match?
I thought it was another banger. Like, the Usos and the Street Profits work so well together. I still don't know why Jeff Jarrett was in there. I thought he was going to, like, interfere some way and have cost someone the match or the other team won, but that didn't happen. He actually really did call it straight down the middle. So sure, Jeff Jarrett, good job. But again, Street Profits and they're just great. I don't know where they go from here. They're probably, like you said, the back of the line because they've had 2 chances now, unless they do one of those matches where if they lose, they can't go for the tag titles while the Usos have it. I mean, that's the only match they could do now if they continue this rivalry. But the rivalry has been amazing. Very impressed.
Jacob, anything you want to add to this match?
Yeah, I thought the Street Profits were going to turn on each other because so at this point, when all this stuff is happening, this is happening while I may or may not be at work, and I may or may not have had earbuds in listening to the play-by-play of the pay-per-view at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So when I actually did catch like some bits and pieces of actually seeing it, I mean, when the end of the match, I mean, you could hear even the commentary talking about like Angelo, Dawkins, and all them, like how sad or whatever the hell words they use, but basically they're just describing like how they looked. And I highly recommend sometime, guys, and this is all the fellow listeners, listen to a pay-per-view. Don't watch a pay-per-view, listen to it. It gives you a whole new perspective on shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I don't know. When I actually did see those two guys sitting in the ring, like I was like, oh, they're turning. And like, no, they didn't turn. So I was kind of shocked by that.
Yeah, they might be saving it. Usos are over a year. Over a year as champs. It's
what about the New Day? Could the New Day take the titles back from them?
I think when Big E's fully, I feel like that's one of the best options left.
Yeah, I know they're like in a pseudo rivalry with the War Raiders now. I don't. Maybe whoever wins that rivalry gets to be the number 1 contender.
I did see things. They're like where Kevin and Sammy reunite one last time to take them out, or like Jacob said, since Triple H is here, they're like, why doesn't Tommaso get Gargano? And they take him out.
Oh, that'd be sweet. God, that'd be cool.
But again,
I would actually be for either of those tag teams winning because I just love Sammy and KO together. They have great chemistry and just do amazing work together. So I would love to see them as tag team champs.
There's only 2 more matches. Again, this card was only 8 matches. We have our girl Liv Morgan going against Ronda Rousey. Whew, on that preview, there was a lot of talk about this match, and his producer Justice said someone is not going to be happy when it comes to the review and how this match was presented. Liv Morgan does defeat Ronda by pinfall, but while Ronda had her in the armbar, ref didn't see that Liv was tapping before the pin, but the pin did happen, so there was booking that we did not see. She gets a pinfall win over Ronda with controversy. Ronda then beats the hell out of everyone here, so Ronda officially becomes heel. But I'll say it because I know what Byron's going to say. I had a problem with this match because Liv was systematically getting her ass whooped the whole match. Like, and I get it. Ronda's Ronda, like Jacob said last time on the preview, but they would not. Alexa Bliss was the only other champ where Ronda was fighting where they just let them get their asses whooped. But to Jacob's thing again, ain't none of them 4 horsewomen getting their asses whooped like that in a match. Period.
Yeah.
You're absolutely correct. I was actually going to say the same thing. Like, I don't understand why they had Ronda just beat the hell out of Liv for however long this match was. I think it was like 8 to 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, Ronda, from the time the bell rang, literally beat the hell out of her. Arm dragged her like multiple times. I really thought like Liv may have like a broken arm or like a pop shoulder or whatever because she got the hell beat out of her. She got a little offense in from just like a little tiny bit. Like she had like one move that was like, okay, maybe she could pin her off of that. But the rest of the match, it was just Ronda being dominant. I don't like that because it makes your champ look weak, and the SmackDown women's division is already not as great as the Raw women's division. So you need your champ to look strong as hell. So she has, contenders coming after her championship. Like, I get that you want Ronda to look strong. I get that because she's a drawer and brings in money. I get that. But you also should want your champ to look as strong as hell as possible.
Jacob, man, we all thought the only way Liv was winning, we all thought it was Charlotte showing up. And Charlotte did not show up, to all of our surprises, because we all knew she was in town for her dad's last match the next day. She didn't show up, man. So what do you think? Because we did not see this type of booking coming with this match.
To my fellow L7C podcasters, listeners, and general audience, I would like to take this moment to absolutely apologize and say that I, Jacob Mason, was wrong in my predictions for this match. Although, I don't know if you guys paid attention to this, but before this match, they had a good 4-minute promo about Charlotte Flair.
Mm-hmm.
I seen that and I'm like, oh, I'm going to be just saying how right I was on the podcast coming up here. That's literally what I thought. I'm listening to this, mind you, and I'm just hearing like, I'm Charlotte Flair. Woo! I deserve this 87 title. Woo! And I'm like, fuck, here we go again. I'm like, but I will be right. And then it turned out I was completely wrong. This was shit. This was absolute shit. Nobody looks good. Mm-hmm. Nobody looks strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you booked yourselves into a corner. I thought you only had one option to get yourself out of said corner. Instead, you do this hokey bullshit. Like, I feel like Jim Cornette right now. Like, this is the most hokiest bullshit I have ever seen. It certainly was on the whole pay-per-view. This was terrible. I didn't like any of this. You're like Byron said, your SmackDown champion looks weak as shit. And I understand if you were going to make her look weak, but holy fuck, this was bad. It was not good. Nobody won. But you know what this match did do? This match set up WrestleMania. Because you have Ronda Rousey just turned heel.
Mm-hmm.
Becky Lynch just turned face.
I was just about to say that.
There's your WrestleMania. There's your face. There's your heel. Here's your draw.
Now, you are 100% right on that, too. I was also going to add, even though hers was a different circumstance, it's kind of funny how now both of them are going to be off TV for a bit because Ronda got show suspended and Becky's going to be off for a couple months to get her shoulder healed. Which, honestly, if Becky really wanted to, she'd be wrestling in like 2 months.
Yeah.
But this works out well for them.
Wrestling, they're going to be setting up that match for Mania.
Yeah.
And also, Becky's back to being the man now.
Yes.
Yeah.
We do have that for us. So I thought Ric Flair won that gimmick. Apparently, once he retires, Becky's now back into it. So congratulations, Becky, on finally beating Ric Flair. Best Ric Flair match of the week.
That's funny. That's great.
Yeah, it was crazy because I was really sitting there when she was getting her ass whipped. I can't believe it. I was like, please, Jesus, please have Charlotte save this woman. Like, this is getting hard to watch. Like, I was like, oh my God. I haven't felt this nervous for Liv when I thought Ronda's little best friend Shayna killed her at Elimination Chamber.
X.
So,
yeah.
We're going to see what Triple H has to do with that on Friday because Liv was like, by any means necessary, she got the title. But everyone's going to say, like, she was tapping it. We'll see. But shout out to Liv Morgan after getting her ass whooped, fulfilling her social obligations and doing the complex sneaker thing and spending $11K on sneakers. And the fact that realtor told her the person at the cashier said $11K and Liv with a smile just handed a card. You know, champ money's good money.
Yes, good champ money.
Like, if someone could tell you $11K and just be like, okay.
Yeah.
Wait. What?
Yeah, on Monday, it came out like, it's like a little 2-minute video. She was at like a sneakers store just buying Nikes and Air Forces. And I think she bought like 8 or 9 pair of shoes. And the total was like $11,200. And she literally just handed over like a credit card or a debit card and said, all right.
It was for the Complex Sneaker Challenge. So
Yeah.
Complex like invites celebrities and all that to do the challenges, and like she got her ass whooped on Saturday and she was there on Monday. And then you also learn about her childhood. They were dirt broke. She was in an abusive family for a bit. Like a lot of shit, man. So shout out to my girl.
$1,000 for shoes. Holy shit.
She was buying some. I don't even think she's I don't even know if she's close to the record on that thing. But it's
I don't remember what the record is.
It's just the fact Liv Morgan's got it like that now. I don't know how Bo Dallas felt, but shit. He ain't the one making money at the house, at the farm no more.
Oh my God, that's right. I forgot they are together. Holy
fuck. That too.
Hey, you know what? He's a realtor now, so you know what? He's probably making bank. So good for him.
He is.
Bo leave, baby. Bo leave.
I can't wait for Liv's documentary to see if Bo was in the crowd when he if she's been going to see when she cashed in. But next, we got our favorite matchups again. We got Roman with Paul Heyman versus Brock Lesnar, last man standing match. Allegedly, the last time ever these two are ever going to wrestle. I truly don't think WWE in 2015, when they wrestled WrestleMania 31, was like, oh, we're going to have this going for 7 years. But here we are. Brock Lesnar's entrance stole the freaking show. Coming out with the Byron, man, just take it away.
So, not Brock. Roman Reigns comes out first because, he's the head of the table, so he gets to do whatever the hell he wants to do. His entrance was his normal, bloodline entrance. But then Brock music hits. He walks down to the ramp a little bit, and then he just stops. Turns around, there's this big red tractor. So he drives it up to the ring. He gets on top of it in a little, I don't even know what you call it, like a barrel shovel thing. And then, they're doing the introduction. What did you call it, Jacob?
Called a front loader, and it was an international harvester. Case of IH, baby. You guys taught me about calf the other day.
Oh, my.
What we do around here, folks.
We help each other out.
Very full of culture here.
Yes, so he's in the front loader. They do their introductions. The bell rings, and Brock literally jumps out the front loader and tackles Roman, and that's how the match starts. So they have I think a very entertaining match. Brock Lesnar looked dominant. Roman Reigns is putting in a good performance. Then later in the match, Brock gets in the tractor again, literally lifts up the ring. Roman falls out. Then they're fighting by the announcer table. Usos come out, attack Brock. Brock literally suplexes both of them to hell. Then Austin Theory, music hit. He runs down to the ring. He hits Roman with a briefcase, so you think he's about to cash in. Then he gets F5 by Brock Lesnar. So he's out. So then Roman and Brock are fighting, and Roman keeps hitting him with the title belt, and eventually hits him with the briefcase. He hits Theory first and calls him a son of a bitch, which was hilarious. And then eventually he knocks out Brock with one last title belt, piles a bunch of broken announce table, and then that's how he wins. And he walks off into the sunset.
Jacob, what'd you think of the match?
Okay, so let me give y'all another point of view from Jacob Mason's life. As I said, I'm listening to play-by-play of the pay-per-view, and I hear Brock Lesnar's got a tractor. Well, me being living in a cornfield, I go, well, I have to see this. So I rush back. I go, the hell with the job. I don't care. Brock Lesnar's on the tractor. I'm all about this. And I see he's got a Case IH International harvester with a front loader. And I'm like, this is fucking sweet.
Yeah, his logo on it too, on the wheel.
Yeah, fucking awesome. In Nashville too. I'm like, god damn, this is so good. I'm already loving it. This was probably my favorite Brock and Roman match period that they've had.
This should have been the WrestleMania match. That's what I was getting on. Like, why the fuck did we not do this at WrestleMania where you were saying it was going to be the biggest match of all time? It would have been the biggest match still, but this should have been at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, like, this match was literally like, who brings it? Like, we've seen garbage trucks, we've seen Zambonis, we've seen beer trucks, we've seen forklifts, we've seen everything. I can't remember a time where we've actually seen a tractor. And then to actually be smart enough to use the tractor to lift up the entire ring, dude, that was fucking awesome. Also, did you guys happen to catch Brock Lesnar throwing the microphone at Roman and how flawless of an execution that?
Yes.
That might have been my favorite part of the match next to the entrance.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome. It was good. It was everything you wanted it to be. Right person went over. Everyone looked strong. There was a Case International Harvester. It was a really good time. Like, that was awesome.
Yeah, and then and the only way Brock lost is how they piled all of that stuff on top of him. The Usos interfered. Roman had to get on top of the stuff piled on him after Hellacious, in theory, coming. Like, they executed that very perfectly. Opposite of the women's champion, though, SmackDown women's one, everyone comes out there not in a bad spot. Brock Lesnar, if you saw after the match, he gets in the ring, tips his hat off. I heard he got a standing ovation in the back in some article. Like, everyone looked good in this match.
And also, me and Justin said we needed Austin Theory to attempt to cash in, and he did. So, Theory is still extremely relevant in every situation possible we have going forward for the time being.
That's true. Mm-hmm. That's true. Because when I heard that 8-10, I was like, oh, please, Lord. Please, Lord. Oh, and shout out to Paul Heyman. When he took the F5, he didn't get up till the end of the match. That's how
that man knows how to sell.
That is how you sell a finishing move. And literally when Roman won, I mean, it's 700 days, man. 700 days. Never thought I'd see a title reign this long in my lifetime.
Me either.
And it's going. It ain't
stopping.
It ain't stopping. It ain't stopping at all. Just a little quick nuances with Roman, though. I do like how they had the number one contender come out, Drew McIntyre, talking about like Clash, like he needs to get the title back. And like you said on SmackDown, man, I'm tired of the titles being with a part-timer. I was like, I mean, technically Roman's full-time. It's not like he has like other engagements. He's just not
doesn't show up.
So I don't even know. I was like, Drew, you can't call him a part-timer. It's a full-time part-time. We coined that on the L7C. But
I mean, Philip, though, like, we need to see the champion. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Well, Drew, you can already preview it a little bit. We still have a long ways to go. Drew is not going to win, but it's the fact that he never got to win the main title in front of fans that just hurts. Because he carried, like Jacob, I think, said a couple months ago, Drew carried this fucking company when Roman was at home and during the pandemic era.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Drew deserves the title. He does not need the title right now, though. Right guy, wrong time.
I like that. Right guy, wrong time.
Talk to me this time next year. Can be completely different. We can be like, dude, get Drew the title ASAP.
I like that. Right guy, wrong time. Right guy, wrong time. Maybe right guy, wrong time. What the hell were you thinking? I really thought you were going to die, guy. Just switching real quick. Ric Flair had his last match on Sunday, and it was not pretty. Jacob, I know it was bad, man. I really did think I was scared. I was scared for the dude, especially when he decided to bleed in the match.
I fully expected him to, though. I mean, it was a bad match, but it was a shit show. And what else did you expect?
I didn't think he was going to make it out alive. Like the way he was moving was, I didn't like it.
No, it wasn't good. It was terrible. I mean, but for $35.
That's true.
For $35, you got your money's worth out of that paper.
Yes, the paper. But I was like, and that's when he was talking to Undertaker. I was like, Undertaker's probably like, yeah, dog, you ain't doing this no more, man. The fact that Undertaker, Foley, and Hart showed up in the crowd, that was what's up, though.
Yeah, that was cool to see. I didn't get a chance to see the match because I was at my sister's house, but from Twitter and you guys, it was a shit show, so I'm kind of glad I didn't.
He was bloodied up.
$35 for it.
He was bloody up. He was in the blue. You already know how the internet wrestling community was. He was like, oh, yeah, he's bloodied up and in blue because he wants to send a message to Becky Lynch that he is the man. Because if you do remember...
I saw someone on Twitter put that picture, that side-by-side picture of Ric Flair and Becky when she got injured.
That's when it really happened. Shout out to Nia Jax for breaking Becky Lynch's nose.
Best thing that ever happened to her.
It really was. It really was. Changed her whole career.
It really did.
But, man, go ahead, Byron.
I was going to say, speaking of Nia Jax, do you think Triple H brings her back?
No.
All right.
I think she's too busy having fun on OnlyFans.
Right. Forgot about that. But they do have that. They did lift the third party ban.
Jeez, I don't know about the. Oh man, I know they're allowed to play video games again on Twitch, but I don't know about OnlyFans. Because if that's true, then Lana needs to come back.
Yeah.
Lana's making too much money.
That is true too.
I guarantee Lana's making more money now than she did in WWE.
I agree. I think so. But this also was the first we didn't even state it. The first pay-per-view where Vince was not not a chairman or executive or head of creative since 1982.
Dang, that's a long time.
That's a long time. And this was the first Raw without Vince at the head of creative. The Raw had its highest numbers in 2 years.
What is it, like 2.2 million or something like that?
2.2 to 2.6.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So,
but everything that I heard, SummerSlam pretty much went how Vince wanted it, with a few tweaks. From everything I read, like that was kind of like, here you go, Vince. This is your last kind of hoorah type deal thing.
He didn't want the staple though. And I saw that he was turning down that Bayley staple every time, and that was Triple H.
Yeah, I read that too.
Which I mean, you kind of figured the Dakota Kai part was part of Triple H's like tweak, but all in all, great. It was a good show.
It was.
A few problems, but I was sports entertained.
And then Jacob already found a promotion of Brock Lesnar's potential next thing, which would be at day 1 in January. So,
you guys think he'd be back for Mania season? It's going to be in Hollywood. Quick, easy draw, Brock Lesnar. Wherever day 1's at, is it St. Louis, I think, or
Atlanta?
Atlanta, yeah. For those who do not know, the venue posted a picture of day 1, and it had like Brock Lesnar on there. So, which we've seen that happen before, where they've posted someone and be like, "Oh shit, well, I guess we now have to introduce them or whatnot," or they'll just play the "Hey, card is subject to change." It's just a promotional thing.
Yeah,
we'll see. We definitely know he's not going against Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, man, again, 700 days as Universal Champ. 23 title defenses, 14 unique challengers, 13 pay-per-view main events. There's nothing more you could say about the guy. Even though WWE on Fox said who did it better, Tribal Chief Roman with the 2 belts or Becky with the 2 belts, and the man is really back. She said, me, I showed up to work. Shout out to Becky, fake listening to the L7C podcast.
I love it. She is... Man, I can't wait till she comes back and is the man again.
She said one of the first things she's doing is beating the shit out of Bayley.
That's going to be a good match if it happens, or when it happens, I should say.
Can we appreciate how good Becky is on Twitter?
Yes.
For the love of God, she just needs to talk shit every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day on Twitter. She needs to be posting something. Like, not to get political here, but she needs to straight up Donald Trump this shit. And everyone needs to be like, do you see what freaking Becky posted today? Oh, shit. You never know what it's going to be. That's exactly what Becky needs to do.
Oh,
That's Jesus.
If it gets rekindled with Ronda, if you remember those Ronda tweets back in a couple years ago.
Man, she was living in Ronda's head rent free.
So,
she probably still does.
That will be good when that happens. Crazy. Becky's doing all this stuff and she's a mom. Like, she has time to talk all this shit to you, get in a little Twitter war with you, and then, go back to taking care of her kid.
I will say that she's had actually, when she came back at SummerSlam last year to this SummerSlam, she's actually had an amazing year.
Oh, yeah.
As a wrestler, performer, like, she's elevated her game in this last year, and I love it.
I 100% agree. I will say, too, on her flip side of her husband, when he's like, all right, this stuff's all done, I need to get that title from Roman. I said, well, that's a motherfucker. That's the only person Roman has not beaten in this title reign. And like Jacob said, that could be a right place, wrong time, but also, because obviously for the Hollywood
title reign?
No, Roman won. Roman lost on DQ. Like he DQ'd himself at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah, okay. That my bad.
Yeah, he hasn't beat Seth. Seth's the only dude who actually low-key consistently beats Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Because when Seth came back from that injury and Money in the Bank, he pinned Roman clean on a pedigree for the title.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dean cashed in. And then but Seth's we were talking about him, because man, that guy deserves the title. There's a lot, which is a good problem to have. There's a lot of people who deserve the title.
Top 3 guys are Drew, Bobby, and Seth.
Yeah. Someone was asking, when does AJ get back to the main title picture?
I don't know.
You also, you have your standby guys right now. You can go at any given moment. You have your AJs, you have your Kevins.
It's kind of crazy how early in Roman's title reign he almost tried to kill Kevin Owens. Like when that
golf cart.
So good.
That feels like ages ago in the title reign, man.
Wasn't that Royal Rumble last year?
Gosh.
Dang.
Dude, anything else, guys? It was a good wrestling weekend. And I was wrong. Ric Flair didn't die. He came close, but he didn't die.
Did you guys expect anyone else to show up? Because I kind of expected Seth to end up facing someone.
SummerSlam?
Yeah.
I thought he was going
to. I did too.
I did too.
Riddle, but I expected him to have a match with someone. And I don't know about you guys, but I kept seeing MJF's name pop up a lot before SummerSlam.
I kept seeing your guy's name. I kept seeing Bray.
I seen both. And I was like, shit, God, I hope MJF doesn't show up. God, because I would hate to have to be wrong twice in one night. That'd just destroy me. I couldn't do another podcast.
It's all right, man. I've been really thinking about it. I was like, I just don't know when MJF's going to show up on AEW. When are you really going to wait that long for Punk to come back, get the title back from Moxley? That's just what I'm wondering. It's a matter of when. They can't go 2 years without him on the show.
Nah, it won't be years. It won't be 2 years.
A year, I feel it's a long time, though. I don't think it should be a year.
I think it shouldn't be longer than 6 months.
He's either A, going to attack Punk, or B, he's going to come and attack Moxley. And he's going to take the title from Moxley.
Oh, yeah. That's easy.
Punk's going to come back, and either way, you're going to end up having the promo. They're going to have the conversation of, you never beat me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So, screw you. Let's go.
I agree. I thought Seth was going to wrestle someone. It just didn't happen, which, hey, I get it, man. They wanted the 8 matches and that was it.
I mean, he had that little scuffle with Riddle, but
yeah, that was like a commercial break.
Riddle looked good, I think, in that scuffle for what it was.
Oh, I thought Randy was going to come avenge his brother Riddle. I thought he was coming back. But
I don't know if he's coming back this year. I think he'll probably show up Royal Rumble season.
Which I can't wait for Jacob's prediction if it's not The Rock when we get to January. Because Jacob's going to have, he already has The Rock. But if The Rock doesn't show up, who's Jacob going to pick in the Rumble? That's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I guess it's going to come down to, is Rock actually going to be in the Rumble, or is he just going to show up?
Ooh.
And take away the shine of whoever won the Rumble, like when Ronda did it.
Oh, God. That was terrible. That was terrible. Asuka won. They had Charlotte and Alexa Bliss in the came in because they were the champs, which is crazy to say out loud because how long ago that was that Charlotte and Alexa Bliss were the champs of the shows. Not the more Charlotte thing, the more Alexa Bliss thing. Then we're like then you're like, oh, the WWE sticker hasn't showed up at the bottom. Then Ronda's music finally goes off. Then everyone's like, we knew she was coming, but she didn't enter the match. She just came in after Asuka won, pointed at the WrestleMania sign, and that was the end of the show. Like, what the hell?
And you thought she was going to have a match with either one of them at WrestleMania, but no, she ended up teaming with Kurt Angle to face Stephanie and Trips.
It was a good first match for her.
It was a good match, surprisingly.
And then she said, I want to work my way to the title shot. Then 2 matches later, title shot. and then Alexa Bliss cashed in. Then SummerSlam 2018. 2018. She whooped the dog shit out of Alexa Bliss. And Alexa she has not won a title since. And I know I say that a lot, but that's weird to say that she's not won a main title since Ronda really whooped her ass. And only WWE can make you hate Alexa Bliss because we all hated her during that WrestleMania where they're like, oh, they fired the Fiend because of Alexa Bliss because they just gave her a gimmick to his gimmick. Like, only they can make you hate her like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
All times.
Stephanie McMahon saying that this past weekend, SummerSlam was the most watched, which last year's was the most watched, which basically just means Peacock's working. It's going to be the most watched every year because Peacock's getting more eyes on the product and it's working.
Why can't they fix it, though? Why can't Peacock be as good as the WWE network?
Dude, I'm asking the same thing.
Why can't I rewind and start from beginning on a live pay-per-view?
Right. I hear you, man. I hear you.
Fucking annoys me.
Network was it. That was damn near perfect.
I mean, once they worked out the kinks, yeah, Network was good.
And you want to talk about that network? We're all NXT boomers. These young people could just go on USA and watch NXT. You had to go on your fucking computer Wednesday night and log into the network to watch NXT live.
For the longest time, that was the only reason to have the network.
Yes.
Yes.
That was the only reason I had it for the longest time was I had to watch NXT.
And then I started watching that. Then you're like, oh, what's this Mae Young Classic? Who's this Tony Scrub? Who's this Shayna? Who's this Kairi Sane? Like, oh my gosh, man. That was top shit. When they had that, the Cruiserweight Classic tournaments, like.
Oh, yes.
That was gold. Man. That's golden era Triple H.
Bring that back, Triple H. I mean, if they really want to give life to the women's division, bring back the Mae Young Classic.
To the same level. Not the same thing where, no disrespect to those ladies, but not the same people who have who are only on there because they have 50,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah, bring back indie wrestlers and
you know what?
All that good stuff.
They need to bring back the cruiserweights. And they need to bring back the GOAT cruiserweight champion, Enzo Amore.
I thought you were going to say Austin Aries.
I thought you were going to say Pac.
Austin Aries.
No, Jacob. I mean, Enzo did get canned on an allegation, and then it was proven that he didn't do it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Again, that's some mending fucking fences.
And I've said it on this podcast so many times. I'll continue to say it, and I'll always die on this hill. Enzo Amore was the most relevant cruiserweight champion of all time, of that cruiserweight era, I would say. Hands down. on every show, every week, and he had the title with him.
He was the best talker out of all of them. The worst worker, but the best talker.
Yeah.
He wasn't the greatest worker, but that man could work.
No, I mean, he had as he said, he had the gift of gab. It's kind of crazy. Again, I've said it a couple times too. Carmelo's the last one left of that group, and you wouldn't think Carmelo would be the last one left.
Right?
No.
Really wouldn't. But, man, with that being said, AEW will be in Columbus, Ohio for the first time in its history. Got some crew members going. So next time we're on a wrestling pod, let y'all know how it goes. But besides that, man, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. This was great reviewing SummerSlam, reviewing that Raw. It feels like Jacob said last week, that new promotion feel with Triple H, head of creative, and basically kicking out all of Vince's people. Like Kevin Dunn's hanging on by a thread, but his ass is going to be out of here. So we'll see, man. We'll see. But with that being said, make sure you like, rate, comment, subscribe anywhere you listen to. Thank you for listening to the L7C podcast. Signing out.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.